this next segment, we're going to get to know our Binibinis a little better in a deeper aspect. Kasi mas malalaman natin kung ano yung mga advocacy nila, what they actually stand for, and what they can say regarding matters that we are facing right now. Now, beyond beauty and confidence, personality and substance solidifies the remarkable attributes of a true beauty queen, an intangible charm that ultimately completes a woman worthy of a crown and a title. Now, 11 young women will be asked a question. Each Binibini will be given 30 seconds to share their advice. Now, ladies, I want you all to begin your statement with, walang duda, ikaw ay blank, with your advocacy as a Binibini representing your city or town. Now, we'll start with candidates 1, 2, 3, and 4. The question is, now more than ever, we need to promote holistic health, where we are caring for the body, the mind, and even the spirit. Now, what advice can you share to help empower and uplift our fellow Filipinos in these times of difficulty? Let's start it off with, again, our first 4 candidates, number 1, 2, 3, 4. Candidate number 1.
So the one piece of advice that I would give to Filipinos to uplift our spirits and of course empower each other is to always be positive and look at the brighter side of things, because it is evident that we are on our way to the recovery, not only as a nation but also with ourselves. And so I think that we just need to keep a strong mind and a strong heart, and also of course to help other people around you as well. And so to answer your statement, Kyle, walang duda, ikaw ay puno ng pasasalamat, because my advocacy is building sustainable communities in rural parts of the Philippines. And I think that when you show gratitude to everyone around you, but as well as Mother Nature, then you start to be able to think about more sustainable ways for the environment. And I hope that everyone works on becoming a more sustainable Philippines.
Wow, that was beautiful. That was wonderfully said. Binibini number 1, Samantha Panlilio. Now, I have a follow-up question for you.
Yes.
How are you faring despite the pandemic? You know, things have been very different, to say the least. How are you faring with these times, with these trying times?
You know, of course it was difficult, especially because we were given such limited movement, you know, to see family and friends. But I think that I have adjusted to the new normal. And of course, we always need to follow the rules and regulations just so that we can recover faster. And so I think I'm doing well, and I'm so blessed to say, and blessed to say that I have such great support also from my family and friends.
Right, absolutely. All we got to do is follow protocol
Yes.
and wait it out, pretty much. Very well
Definitely.
said. Binibini number 1 from Cavite, Samantha Panlilio. Now,
Thanks, Kyle.
thank you very much, Samantha. Let's move on to Binibini number 2 from Marikina. We have Lois and Badando. Lois, hi.
Hi! So, yung advice ko, first of all, naiintindihan ko sa sitwasyon natin ngayon na madali tayong ma-stress and sabay-sabay ang mga nararamdaman natin. Kaya para sa akin, importante pa rin na lumapit tayo sa mga mahal natin sa buhay at mahalagang pag-usapan natin kung anong nararamdaman natin, dahil naniniwala ako na nakakatulong to para magkaroon tayo ulit ng lakas para lumaban sa another day. So, to answer that question then, walang duda, ikaw ay palaban. Because one of my advocacies as well is this is destigmatizing talking about mental illness, specifically depression. Kasi it's very relevant as well, especially during our time.
Right. You mentioned, Lois, na kailangan meron ka laging nakakausap. You know, just to ask you a follow-up question, meron ka ba dyan ng mga nakakausap parati when you're in times of anxiety, when you're in times of worry? Meron ka bang mga nalalapitan? And if so, who are these people for you?
Siyempre, unang-una na dyan ay yung pamilya ko. Nandun sila para sa akin lagi. Ngayong Binibini, grabe din yung supporta nila sa akin because of the constant pressure. Pero inire-reassure nila ako everyday na kaya mo to. Andyan din siyempre yung mga kaibigan ko, although hindi naman sobrang dami, pero I'm so glad and happy for this handful amount of people.
Alright, Lois, wow, that's very beautiful. Siyempre, kailangan nga naman, meron tayong nakakausap. And lucky for you, you have friends, you have family, you have loved ones. So thank you very much. Binibini number 2, Lois, and All right, now let's move on to Binibini number 3 from Manila, Patricia Garcia.
Hi again, everyone. I hope our viewers are still watching and you guys had fun with our game earlier and learned so much about the Silka product. But to answer your question, what I learned in this pandemic, Kyle, ang dami eh. Because of all the experiences that we've had, lahat tayo na pagdaanan nito, not just the Philippines, but the whole world as well. But what I really learned is it's all about grit, it's all about hard work. Grit is like a mixture of perseverance and having this passion and doing what you love. And I think it's the same thing, that same sentiment or same dream that we are all pursuing right now here in Binibini, Pilipinas. That's why we are all here. We are battling amid the pandemic and also, of course, here amid the competition to inspire a lot of people. Well, for my personal advocacy, I advocate for mental health, specifically for those children in conflict with the law. So I've also done some charity works during Valentine's Day amid pandemic, and I went to the Manila Youth Center. And there, I think what we all have in common is walang duda, lahat kami may tunay na puso ng Pilipinas.
Wow, that was beautiful. You know, ang dami mong nagagawa despite the fact that we are still in a pandemic. How do you manage your time despite all this? I mean, you have to also rethink your strategies kasi nga, syempre, kailangan mag-ingat tayo, kailangan lagi tayong may safety protocols. So how do you manage your time despite being so busy with all of these things that you're doing?
It's all about learning what's more important to do or to prioritize the things that are more urgent. But right now, like I'm doing a government work and business on the side, but it's Binibini season right now, so this is something that I am prioritizing. So I think what we learned also about this pandemic is we shifted and realized what's more important or what's really essential. So those are some realizations that I have, and I think all of us also did.
Wow. Very well said. Patricia, wala na akong masabi.
Grabe naman. Thank you.
Number 3 from Manila, once again, that was Garcia. We indeed learned the things that are essential. Alam naman natin kung ano na yung mga essential ngayon. Now, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to Binibini number 4 from San Fernando, Pampanga. We have Arian. Hi, Arian. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. What about you?
Okay, so now, are you ready to answer the question?
Yes. Oh, well, I am a COVID survivor, and that is something that I am proud of, and that's something that I want to share. Kaya, I want the people to know that COVID is not serious. I personally have experienced it. And yung masasabi ko lang is to have that faith in you kahit anong maramdaman mo, kahit ma-down mo, sobrang down ka na, still have to keep that faith in you and you have to keep God in you para ma-surpass mo yung lahat ng challenges na dadating sa buhay mo. And yes, walang duda, ikaw ay natatas. And I personally want to pursue or to push through with my advocacy education for every Filipino child. I want to inspire them, to encourage them to go through or to achieve their dreams in life and pursue their education regardless of their status.
Ayun, all right. Now, thank you very much, Arian. Now, since you mentioned you are a COVID survivor, ako rin actually, I went through COVID. I was one of the first few patients ng COVID back in 2020. So I actually had severe complications of COVID. I was there for a month. I was in the hospital for a month. And just to share, COVID is very serious. It is, however, not, hindi lahat ng tao nagkakaroon ng severe reactions. So I think I understand when you said it's not serious because for some, they may not experience any symptoms at all. And it is a serious thing. However, we do need to remember that prayer is very important, like what you said, Arian. So what did you do when you had COVID? Ano yung pinaka-pumasok sa isip mo? Ano yung mga tumatakbo sa isip mo during those times?
During those times, I felt so down, mixed emotions, no? And that is why I held on to something, which is the faith I have. And that is why I survived ng ganun kabilis, because I have the faith and I also have the support of my family and friends. So that is why.
Alright, upbeat tayo, COVID survivors. High five. Alright, now thank you very much. That was Binibini number 4 from San Fernando, Pampanga, Arian. Now, very marvelous answers. As you guys have seen, Binibinis. Let's now proceed with candidates 5, 6, 7, and 8. Grabe, 1 to 4 pa lang pasapok natin ng mga Now let's welcome in Binibini number 5 from Occidental Mindoro, Princess Kien Wanzon. Hi, Princess.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Ang ganda ng smile mo, Princess, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. I'm happy to be so awesome and adorable. So to answer your question, it is given that the COVID-19 pandemic has drastically affected each of our lives. The suspension of civic and social activities left us unemployed, people got sick, some died, and some are struggling to meet their end needs. So we should not forget to have hope and strength. Hope that everything will be alright soon, and strength to hold on and continue until God, walang duda, tayo ay malakas pagsama-sama. Together, as a community, we can unite and collaborate to help to survive this pandemic, to help each other. So we should acknowledge that everyone, we struggle with this disease, diba? So it's important to show compassion and kindness to each and every one of us. My advocacy, I am the youngest in the batch. I am the youngest Binibini. I am now still studying, adapting to online classes, struggling at Binibini and school. So it's really important. I value education a lot. That's why even if it's hard, I do my best all the time. And I advocate for civic society to education, educating people about how important inclusivity is and how we can give more opportunities to all PWs.
That's very surprising to me. Given that you are still in school, you're already very well spoken, as if you have so much experience. Is this your first time joining Princess Kien in pageant? Or
this is my first time to join National Pageant. I joined Binibini when I was just 19. So it's a new experience, but I treasure this moment. Even if we've got the school for a year, I still continue because I learned a lot of things. I met awesome people, empowered girls who teaches me and guides me, supports me all throughout. So the journey is worth it because we gain a lot.
Wow, naman, congratulations. You know what? The journey has just begun for you. You're very young and you're already very, very inspiring. I admire that the confidence that you have, as well as your outspokenness. Very good. Very well said. Binibini number 5. Now let's move on to Binibini number 6 from Caloocan, Shannon Tampong. Same question.
Hi! So during pandemic, I felt lost. I really don't know what to do. I am having anxiety with different problems. But then I learned to have my own peace with my pets. I love having animals. Like I have 57 stray dogs. I adopted them. So that's my advocacy. And that's also one of the reasons why I wanted to voice out my advocacy, which is to stop animal cruelty, both on domestic and wildlife. Kasi kung ipaiintindi natin sa tao na we learn to respect animals, we might stop another pandemic in the future, knowing that coronavirus or COVID came from an animal abuse. Consumption of those animals na hindi naman talaga dapat kinoconsume because of the culture. But I'm really, really hoping that with what was happening in our world, we will learn something about this and try to correct it in the future. That's why, walang duda, ikaw ay mapagmahal. So ayun, sana, I really want to share it with other people because loving something, especially from God's creation, will make you have peace and wonderful life, diba?
You know what? I completely agree with you on that, Shannon. When you have a pet, when you care for an animal or another being, talagang lalabas at lalabas yung totoo mong katauhan. Makikita mo talaga how caring, how your nature of being such a caring person will come out. It'll shine out. You mentioned you have 37 stray dogs.
Yeah, I love to adopt stray dogs. Like, minsan parang feeling ko dog napper na nga ako. So every time na especially if I go around the city, tapos may nakita ko na parang animal or dog na parang kailangan ng help. Ay, sasakay ko na siya sa akin and I'll try to foster them. Diba? But I really want to have my own animal rescue shelter in the future. So, abangan niyo yan.
Shannon, is it safe to say na sa mga nasa Caloocan dyan, pag may nawawala ng aso, lapitan niyo po?
Yeah! Minsan nangyari na sa akin yan. Yung aso pala nung nasa kabilang kanto namin, nasa bahay ko. Pero at least, parang lahat naman ng kailangan niya. Like, pinavet ko naman, vitamins, tapos kung ano yung mga sakit na at least na ayos namin. And then I gave it back to the right owner naman. And gave them some tips kung paano talaga yung proper taking care of their animals or their pets, diba?
Wow naman, Shannon, that's amazing. I applaud you for that and I admire that. Thank you so much, Shannon. Upon Binibini number 6 from Caloocan. Now let's move on to Binibini number 7 from Valenzuela. We have Meiji Cruz.
Hi, Sean.
Hi, Meiji. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. And thank you for having us. Well, for me naman as a yogi, I saw the significance of holistic health. You know, I realized that we are one. And also, it starts with introspection. You know, in aligning our mind, our body, our spirit, kailangan mag-introspect tayo and we should create healthy boundaries. When I say healthy boundaries, not only emotional. Well, first of all, emotional. Now, what are the things that I should accept or what are the things that I shouldn't accept? And also with the diet that we take. And when I say diet, it is the things that we consume, the food that we consume, the news, the books that we read, everything that we consume. So, for me talaga, this pandemic, yoga helped me to be calm, to be grateful, despite everything. And I hope yung ibang tao din get to practice yoga. You know, it starts with physical and then eventually mararamdaman mo yun with your mind and with your spirit. Kasi ganun yung naging experience ko first. I've been doing yoga for so many years, but this pandemic ko lang siya na-feel. Kumbaga na-introspect ko yung process. And sobrang ganda for me ng result kasi I have a strong core. I know what I want. And I feel like I have a light in me that I can share it to others as well. And of course, walang duda, tayong mga Pilipino ay mapag-intindi. Regarding with my advocacy, I advocate with gender equality. I support the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, gender equality, and empower women and girls, and to reach that by 2030. So right now, when it comes to gender equality, meron tayong SOGI bill on the way, and I hope talaga it starts na magkaroon tayo ng laws. But aside from that, I also believe that as a society, meron dapat tayong pag-intindi at pagmamahal towards our kapwa, towards our fellow people. It starts with us. You know, hindi naman natin kailangan tanggapin yung one sexual orientation or their expressing of gender, their identity. Hindi naman kailangan right away tanggapin natin eh. It comes with understanding and respect, and I hope we can reach that soon.
Wow. Grabe. I admire that as well. You mentioned that you have been a yogi for so long. It actually appears that you are very calm. You have such a chill composition. Kitang-kita ko na parang, wow.
Namaste.
Namaste, man. So, no, ang galing. It really shows that yoga has done so much for you. Inside and out, you look very beautiful. You're radiant, as well as your presence is very parang relaxed and chill. So how would you say yoga can affect someone's anxiety? For example, I come to you and say, you know what, I've been very anxious these past few months. How would you say yoga can help someone with anxiety to cope up, for example?
Well, I will say to you that please start by meditating. Just take your time. Just sit down. And then marami namang source of music sa YouTube, sa Spotify. Play mo lang. And then, mag-listen ka din. Just sit if you want Indian sit, kung kaya mo. And then just let your thoughts flow. Let your body flow. You know, respect yourself, respect your body. Huwag mo i-judge yung thoughts and yung kakayahan mo as you are. And then, paunti-unti, yung anxiety na yun, mawawala siya.
I love it. Even the way you said that, even the way you gave me that advice, parang damn. Nakaka-relax yan. Meiji, thank you so much. So everybody is ma-access ng kahit sino tong yoga, no? Because it's available.
Yes. Actually, ang dami na sa online videos. You can do it. And then if you like naman, pwede ka naman kumuha ng coach online. It's very accessible.
Ayun. Meiji, thank you so much for that. Let's move on. That was Binibini number 7 from Valenzuela, Meiji Cruz. Now let's have Binibini number 8 from Quezon Province, Patricia Denise Bautista. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Sean. So, this pandemic, I have been a frontliner and I'm currently still a frontliner. And I know how difficult it is to go on with your everyday life. We all feel that the risk is really there and that we might feel anxious every day. But to everyone, to our frontliners, to our self-ladies, to all the Filipinos, it is okay not to feel sick. It is okay to feel anxious. Embrace what you feel and acknowledge the problems that you have. And after doing that, go on to the next step. Laban lang every day, as in do what you can and ask for help if needed. So, yes, walang duda, ikaw at ako, malalagpasan din natin ang pag-student mindset. So, for my advocacy, I advocate for adaptable and accessible education for the less fortunate. So, during this pandemic, education is one of the sectors that has been badly affected by the pandemic. And we know how difficult it is for the less fortunate children to adjust to the new normal students. So I do hope that we help them adapt to the changing times. Because education is a right and education is an enabler choice. So let us work hand in hand to address this problem.
Wow, education is indeed very, very important. It's vital. It plays such a vital role in the society's well-being as well. Now, Binibini number si Binibini 7. 8, sorry. 8,
Yes.
Patricia, I have a question for you, just a follow-up question. You have been a frontliner since the pandemic started. Ano yung pinaka-difficult na situation that you've had to handle throughout this pandemic, or within this pandemic, being a frontliner?
So being a frontliner, at first I'm really anxious as in I wear so much clothes to cover my body, I spray everything. Although until now, I still do that. Although medyo bawas na ng konti. Pero I still have those anxieties like what if I bring home the virus, then what if I bring home the virus to my family, or what if I carry it. And it's really hard being a frontliner, but knowing my purpose motivates me to keep on pushing and to keep on working still.
Ayun, wow. Thank you very much for that. I salute you for being such a hard-working frontliner. You have been serving our country very, very beautifully. Thank you so much, Patricia, for that answer as well. That was Binibini number 8 from Quezon Province, Patricia Denise Bautista. Now, ladies, are you ready? We have 3 remaining candidates who will be answering the same question. We have candidates 9, 10, and 11. Now let's wait for candidate number 9, Rona, Shira Rona. It's your turn. Now more than ever, we need to promote holistic health. We are caring for the body, the mind, and even the spirit. What advice can you share to help empower and uplift our fellow Filipinos in these times of difficulty? Shira.
Yes, hi Kyle. I guess what I can share to our fellow Filipinos for them to uplift them is using my own story. Personally, I resigned to my previous work just to fulfill my dreams in Binibini, Pilipinas, without knowing the uncertainties that it can bring. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, all of our plans are put on hold. So to cut the story short, everything was unplanned and untimely, and it has a great impact given that I am the breadwinner of the family. But along the way, what I have realized is that things that make us, I realized that things that break us will also the things that will give us development and growth. So I use this time to explore more of myself, to explore more of my passion, and discover my talent. So luckily, I learned how to play guitar and piano over the pandemic, and I want to share it to the children that I am supporting at our foundation for them to have a positive mindset and be hopeful. So, walang duda, ikaw at tayo ay natatag at palaban.
Wow, Shira. Ang galing naman, Shira. Thank you so much for the answer. And you learned how to play the piano throughout this pandemic.
Yes.
It's roughly been a little over a year. Ang galing, ang galing. Would you say that you are now capable of playing mga, let's say, moderate to difficult pieces sa piano? Or mga ano pa lang, mga nasa average level?
Siguro, Carl, nasa average level pa lang tayo. But the feeling is like, ang saya sa feeling mo na nakatuto ka ng bagay na hindi mo alam before. And you can actually use it to share to everyone na maaaring maging talent din nila or interest. So, yeah.
Correct. Totoo yan, no? The fact that you learned this throughout the lack of, any activity, ang galing because it's very productive as well. Productive that you learned a skill. It's a skill that not everybody gets to learn, especially during our adulthood. Mahirap nang matutunan. So, kudos to you, Shira. Congratulations and very beautiful answer. And from Mandaluyong, that was Binibini number 9, Shira Rona. Now let's move on to Binibini number 10. From Batangas, we have Maureen Montaigne.
Hello, Kyle.
How are you? You look very beautiful today, by the way.
Thank you. I'm doing very well. My advice to help uplift our fellow Filipinas would be to practice life with a grateful heart. I know this pandemic has been rough. It's tested us. But sometimes all we can do is let go and let God. It's really important to have faith and to see, the silver lining in any situation. For me, when I was feeling, challenged, when things weren't going my way, I looked to find new hobbies, things that brought me joy. If there's something that, you're trying to overcome, you can find new passions. You can control your destiny and find something to look forward to. So I actually taught myself how to sew over the pandemic, and that was a great source of joy, something to get me out of bed, something to look forward to. And for my statement, it is, walang duda, ikaw ay maalam. Because education is so important. Education is the one thing in life that no one can take away from you. And my advocacy is actually raising awareness for HIV/AIDS. And amidst the pandemic, we've seen the number one focus be COVID, which is, of course, such a pressing issue. But we've completely forgotten about a lot of diseases out there. So I encourage anyone who has any questions to get tested, and we can break the stigma against HIV and AIDS through education and by talking about it.
Absolutely. Not a lot of Filipinos are still very knowledgeable or maalam about these diseases like HIV and AIDS. Is not a death sentence anymore, especially given the fact that we are living in such an evolved age. So Maureen, I have a question for you regarding your advocacy. Being that HIV and AIDS is not something that people are willing to talk about all the time, how would you bring this up to, say, someone who thinks that when they get HIV, they are given a death sentence already? How would you explain that it is not a death sentence to someone?
I think we just need to look around at, people who are living with it. Because you're right, it's not a death sentence. Technology is improving, there is hope. And the best way to fight this disease is through prevention, which is why being educated about how it's spread and prevention is key. But just look, there are even a lot of celebrities nowadays who are living with it. So it's very, we can work with it and we can definitely fight it.
Right, that's right. And, in the future, who knows? Maybe we finally will find a cure for it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, indeed. Thank you so much, Maureen. Beautiful focusing, beautiful answer. Beautiful lady. Binibini number 10 from Batangas, Maureen Montaigne. Now let's move on to Binibini number 11 from Bukawi, Bulacan. We have Bianca Marcelo. Hi, Bianca.
This is Bianca, and my answer to the question, the challenges of the pandemic have taught us so many things, but for
me there are 4 na sobrang importante natutunan ko this pandemic. First is to value our family and our loved ones, to value our time in this world, to always pray, and to love ourselves more. I think na ito yung magsiserve sa atin para mag-guide yung kung paano tayo to be happy even in this time of pandemic. And that together, we will rise up one against all the challenges that we are facing right now. And to answer the question, walang duda, ikaw ay lumalaban sa hamon ng buhay. My advocacy is all about hunger. I am really passionate about inequality. I feel the gap between the rich and the poor, the unequal access to those who are privileged and the underprivileged. That is the reason why I advocate for hunger problems. Because I believe that no one should be deprived of having the most basic common human need, which is food. That we should be able to find a solution to this ancient issue that causes bigger problems in our country and in the world. And I believe that no man can be wise on an empty stomach.
That's absolutely true. No man will be wise with an empty stomach. Ang galing na. I like that. Bianca, it's been over a year. It's been almost 2 years since the pandemic started. Some people have been going hungry. May mga tao na, hindi nila mapigilan kasi sobrang kailangan talaga ng kumain. May mga ginagawa sila like lumalabag sa protocols. What would you advise? What would you suggest to some of these our Filipinos, our fellow Filipinos na nahihirapan lumaban because kailangan nga talaga nilang kumain, kailangan pakainin yung pamilya nila. But, some protocols, some restrictions are being put na hindi sila nakakatrabaho ng maayos, hindi sila nakakumikita ng maayos. What would you suggest for these people?
Yeah, I think yung masasuggest ko lang, di ba, this pandemic, ang dami talaga nahirapan. So, what I did, kasi like, ang daming unemployed. So, ako, in my own little ways, even kung sa Bukawi, Bulacan, I did community pantry, like feeding programs. Parang in my own little way, matulungan ko yung mga tao na mapasaya sila even for a day or for a week with the community pantry na nabigay namin. So, that, parang super happy ko whenever I see them happy and also doing that for them.
Wow, that's very beautiful. Alam mo, yung community pantry talaga, it's such a nice, wonderful thing that everybody can jump into to be able to help those who are in need. So I hope that this keeps on going, to be honest. Bianca, very good. I applaud you for that. Thank you so much. Bianca Marcelo from Bukawi, Bulacan, our candidate number 11. Grabe, so yung themes ng ating mga kandidata, iba-iba. We have hunger, we have HIV and AIDS, we have animals. Sobrang daming advocacies, we have mental health as well. And these are the things that we need to really focus on. And these are our girls. We have Binibinis who will actually stand up for these advocacies. So mga kaibigan, ayan na nga, nakilala na natin ang ating mga 11 Binibinis. There you have it. So ladies and gents, our 11 Binibini Pilipinas candidates confidently and gracefully shared their walang tudang statements just for you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We got to know our queens a little bit better. And of course, we also got to play with them. We got to jive and groove with them as well in these segments. This has been Sean Gallo Ortega. Catch the next episode of The Walang Duda, Binibining Alaging Silka on June 30. See you guys there.